Lightning Thief musical! So if you follow me on Instagram or Twitter, or if you've been watching my videos for a while, you will know that at the end of March, start of April, I spent some time in America. I went to Florida and I went to New York, and New York is one of my all-time favourite places in the whole world ever. I am in love with New York. One of the things that I love so much about New York is the shows and Broadway and Off-Broadway and the amazing amount of theatre that is available to see in New York. When I was initially planning on coming to America, it was going to be in the summertime of this year, and while I was looking through shows that were going to be kind of in America, I saw that the Lightning Thief musical was a thing. Obviously at the time it was not going to be in New York or in Florida around the time that I was originally going to be in America. So I didn't listen to it because I just didn't want to love it and know I'd never see it, and I was very sad about it. And then I found out that we had to push forward the trip. So I saw when the Lightning Thief was on, slid some dates over to suggest that the two correlate and I could see it. And that's what I did, so I was able to see it and I was super excited and it was so worth it. I ended up going to see the Lightning Thief on the 31st of March, which was its last day in New York, and it was in the Beacon Theatre, which was on the Upper West Side. That whole area is one of my favourite areas of New York. We actually spent the morning in Barnes & Noble on the Upper East Side and then just cut through Central Park to get to the theatre, and obviously I did have a grand old time in Barnes & Noble as well. This video was originally going to be a vlog, but you know me, I'm all for vlogging and actually doing things like that, so I'm going to kind of talk and insert clips as and when to make up for my lack of organisation. Cool. It is a rainy New York today. I haven't really been filming here. But I'm going to film today because I'm going to Barnes & Noble now, and then I'm going to see the Lightning Thief musical, so I thought that might be a cool thing to film and document. For those that don't know, the Lightning Thief musical is the Percy Jackson musical. So the book was written by Joe Tress and the music and lyrics by Rob Rokicki, and it is the musical version of the first book, The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan in the Percy Jackson series, which you will know I read for only the first time last year, and I had never read them before because I saw The Thing That Shall Not Be Named. So when it first came out, hated it and didn't want to go near the books because I just made that assumption. But last year, me and a friend of mine decided to buddy read them together, absolutely fell in love with them, and now I'm obsessed with the whole world, and I'm slowly making my way through the Heroes of Olympus series, but now I'm on House of Hades and it's stressing me out every time I read it because it's like absolute hell, like literally, so there we go, that's fun. But anyway, so as soon as I found out about this musical, I was just absolutely, the whole thought of seeing it was amazing. But as soon as I had my tickets, I decided I was going to listen to the songs, and I fell in love with it. Like, please listen to it. The soundtrack is on Spotify. It's incredible. I cannot explain to you how amazing that soundtrack is, and I fell in love with the soundtrack before I even saw the show, and then I saw the show. Genuinely one of the best, if not the best show I have ever seen, and I've seen a lot of shows, I've seen a lot of stuff, but something about this one just really just resonated with me and touched me and was just amazing, and it's just so well done. I cannot express to you just how well done it is. Like, it's just insane. Like I said, I saw the show in New York. I saw it in the Beacon Theatre, which is a gorgeous theatre on the Upper West Side. It looks amazing, and I'm not gonna, like, it genuinely looked like it was fit to have the Percy Jackson musical. Like, it was built to have the Lightning Thief in it. Okay, so let's talk about the actual show. Oh my god, literally from the minute it started, I had just had this massive smile on my face the whole time. I was just so happy when the music started and they like came up behind the curtain. It made me so happy. I just had this massive surge of joy just in my heart. And when Christmas Carol appeared on stage and he's like, look, I didn't want to be a house. It was just perfect, and that's the first line of the book as well, and it was just so perfect. It is a perfect introduction for Percy, and it was just done so well. So the main group of people, the main cast, is actually 7 actors, so they play different characters. So the girl that plays Clarice, Sarah Beth, she also plays Mrs. Dodds. James Hayden Rodriguez, he also, as well as playing Luke, he also plays Aries. And it's just really cool. They all play a variety of different characters. Jarrell, who plays Grover, also plays Mr. D, and it's just incredible. It's such a good like change, and he does it so well. I cannot explain how well they have like Percy, Annabeth and Grover. How do you find a book and then how do you find the actual people from that book? They are exactly how I pictured the characters in my brain on stage. And also, as well as being so perfectly fitting of the characters, they are so talented. I was just in awe. They have amazing voices and talent, and they have the right amount of making it funny, and the way they say certain things is so good and just so perfect. And then they're just so like, this video is just going to be me sat here just in awe of everything. They are just insanely amazing. I'm also trying really hard to not mention the movies, because the movies are not good at all, but I want people to just be aware that this is such an amazing adaptation, and it's not something which you should think, well, the movies were bad, is this going to be bad? This is so good. The heart of the book is in this musical. There are very few changes. Some of my favourite scenes are scenes which were so simple in the grand scheme of the whole play, but that was so effective in capturing the essence of these books and the heart of these books, and that's what I love so much. The bit where Percy and Sally are talking when he gets expelled again, I loved. It really expressed the dynamic and the relationship between Percy and Sally, and how strong that is, and how much he cares, and how much she's doing to try and protect him. And I loved that and thought that was amazing. And when Gabe comes in and Percy kind of just shuffles up on the sofa a little bit, and then he gets the spray out, and it was hilarious. It was the right mixture of he really doesn't like him and he doesn't want him near him, but then also that comedy of like, he smells, let's spray him please. Annabeth and Luke. Annabeth and Luke's relationship was so obvious in this. The way that they are together was so obvious, and I think we can really easily forget that. Like by the time we get to the end of Heroes of Olympus, we forget that Annabeth and Luke had this history, had this past, that she really cared for him, and that it was those two against the world before Percy arrived and before everything happened, and that he went to Annabeth to ask her to run away with him, and that they did have that. And I think that's easy to forget. It's barely even highlighted in the films at all. The show, it was able to capture that in just a couple of scenes, and I really liked that. I really loved how that was done, and it was just amazing and really did capture the essence of the books and their friendship, and I loved that. Also, they have perfected Percy's humour. The way that Christmas Carol delivers the lines is so in tune with how Percy would say certain things and react to certain situations, and it's just incredible. And then obviously the way it's written as well, they just completely understand these characters. The same goes with Annabeth and Grover, and even Clarice. The bit where Clarice says about Aries, did he mention me? Like, you saw my dad, did he mention me? And little moments like that were so well done. Mr. D, when Katie Gardner comes up to him and says that she's not going to use arrows because they're made of wood, and then he's just starts sharpening a pencil in front of her. It's just so, the passive aggressiveness in that moment honestly gave me life. They've just perfected these characters, and the cast have perfected these characters as well as the writing, and it's just amazing. And the way that Luke reacts to certain situations, it's just so good. Like the whole cast just know who these characters are, and it's amazing, and it was so good to see come to life. The fact that Mr. Bronner just has a tail and he just walks like a horse was just hilarious. I cannot express to you how much that fueled my soul with happiness. we also had Percy and Annabeth have their talk sort of before and after she sings My Grand Plan, and they kind of get on the same page and they realise where the other one stands and that they are friends and they want to be friends and they want to be able to work together, and I really liked that. And I also really liked the seaweed brain wise girl, and I was like, oh, it was just so sweet. Everyone in the audience went, aww. Nothing felt forced with any of the relationships. Everything was paced so well. Obviously with a show you have a very small limited amount of time to tell a story, and for people that have read the books, which I think a lot of the fans will have done, you know this backstory, but it also does a really good job for the people that hasn't good as well. And I think if you're a fan of Percy Jackson, this gives you so much more, but if you're not a fan, it would be an amazing introduction to this world, and it's still able to tell that story and stand as its own thing. And that's what I really loved about it as well. I loved the way that it was able to tell a story and was able to explore these characters, and it just did a really good job in doing that, and I really loved that. By the time Act 1 finished, I'm sat there, like, I went to see it by myself, which was actually a really big deal for me. That was a thing I really wanted to tackle this year, anxiety-wise, was seeing shows by myself, and so far this year I have seen 4 shows by myself. 5 if you count like Cursed Child parts, but like 4, and that was like, I was super happy about that. So I'm by myself and I'm sat there in Act 2 and I am in awe. Yeah.
Act 1 was so good, so good. This is the best thing I've ever seen, ever. I loved it.
I just didn't want it to end. I was just sat there just thinking, like, I'm gonna have to leave this at some point, and I couldn't do it because we had plans in the evening, but I genuinely was gonna walk out of that one because I saw the matinee and just buy tickets to go into the next one. Like, I genuinely was so tempted to just do that because I just wanted to see this show just on repeat just all the time, and it makes me so sad that I'm not in America and I can't go and see it again. It's so good, and for such a small cast, for them to be able to put something like this together, it's just amazing. Also the staging, so I spoke a little about the pacing of it and how they do that and how they introduce the characters in each relationship and subtle moments that are there to put in place for these characters' relationships, and that I thought was really good. The set is so simple but so effective, but it worked so well with what they were doing, the way that they were bringing things down with the Camp Half-Blood flag just going down, and suddenly you're in Camp Half-Blood, and you use your imagination, and that helps you to it, which I think is so good for something which is an adaptation of a series, an adaptation of a book series, and it was just done so well. They obviously can't use water to make Percy spray water everywhere, so they use toilet roll on like leaf blowers, and it's so good. It's so effective and it works so well, and it was just so well done, and the whole stage design and set design and the way that everything worked was just absolutely incredible. And I genuinely, the effort that must have gone on to, and like the creativity that must have gone into it. You can have big effects that show certain things, and that's great, and you can have that, and that's amazing, but I genuinely think the creativity that goes into something to make something so normal like toilet paper and turn it into water is amazing. Like, I would never be able to come up with something like that, and my brain just isn't like that, and I just think it's so clever the way that they do that and the way that they use so many different aspects of the show to bring those characters and that set and these places to life, and they just did it so amazingly well. And then of course the music, oh my god, the music. This soundtrack is incredible. It's hilarious, it's serious, it has some of the best, what's the word, when a later song links to a previous song, oh my god, like a reprise, you know what I mean? For example, Good Kid is a song, which is an amazing song, which I scream while it's all at the top of my lungs every time I'm home alone. But then Luke's version of it in Last Day of Summer, like, it doesn't pay to be a good kid. Oh my god, yes, that's one of my favourite ones. And also same with Son of Poseidon, we have that song at the start of it which works so well, and I love that we have that. I love that we have these songs which are able to tell this story and do it in such a clever way, and we have that funniness, we have that seriousness, we have those moments where you do want to scream it as well. When Annabeth sings My Grand Plan every word. I'm like, yes girl, yes. And I really love how these songs have been able to capture these characters and the elements of these characters and bring them to life. And I think especially with The Good Kid and Last Day of Summer, we see those similarities between Luke and Percy, the way that those things have affected them differently, and I really loved that. Tree on the Hill is incredibly underrated. That song makes me cry. Maybe if I'd been a little bit braver, maybe if I'd stayed behind to fight, but maybe just let me go back and save her. No! And I really love that because I feel like that's the area of Grover's character that he does struggle with, and he does struggle with the fact that he feels as though he has failed before and what's happened before, and he's really trying to make up for that. And I feel like that's something which does get forgotten as well, and I really love that that's something which is explored incredibly well. And also there's references to other books and other characters and other things, which I just think is really clever, and I really love it, and I just really like the way that it's done, and it's just wonderful. The perfect mixture of the humour, the seriousness, and the amazing character exploration and depth. These characters have depth and a story, and it is the books brought to life. The heart of the books is the heart of the musical. It was created by fans. Everyone involved with the writing of it are fans of these books, and I really love that, and I love the effort that's gone into it. I love the creativity that's gone into it, and the story, and the want to tell this story right, and I love it, and it's so good. Please, if you can see this show, go and see this show. I will tell you where they're going to be next. Also, I got this shirt while I was there, which says Bring on the Monsters, Bring on the Real World. Grover, Percy and Annabeth on it, and it is genuinely my favourite thing, and it's really comfy, and it was a New York exclusive I think, but it is available on their website, which I will link down below. They're currently in Oklahoma, and then they're in Wilmington, North Carolina, Atlanta, Georgia. I love the way Americans say Atlanta. Maryville, Tennessee, Rochester, New York, St. Paul, Fort Lauderdale, San Antonio, Texas, Tampa. So the show is running through to the 14th of July as of the website. So you've still got time to see it. You've got a month and a bit. So if you can possibly see it, I would 100% recommend it. The tickets are really reasonably priced, and it's so worth it. It's so worth it. You will have a grand old time. Have you seen the show? Please let me know what you thought of it as well. Are you planning on seeing the show? If not, you should be. Thank you for watching. If you're new here, then I make videos a couple of times a week about books and fandomy things. So if you want to stick around and join us, then you can hit the subscribe button down below. And as usual, all my links to all my other social media are also in the description as well, so you can come follow me there if you would like to. I hope you're doing really, 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 really well, and I will see you next time. Bye!